You ever have something on your mind and you just don't know how to get it out there? You just don't know how to say it because you don't know what it is you want to say? That's how I'm feeling right now. That's how I'm feeling right now. It is that, for once I'm actually at a loss for words. Because it's like, in the past, I would sit here and say, oh, well, false hope, false narrative, false this, false that, and fall back into, the depressive state and, just, beat myself up and, tear myself back down and go back to square one. Because it's just like, what's the point of going forward if you clearly made a mistake thinking you were ready? And the amount of times that I've moved forward, that I moved on, that I've built up, that I've, yada, 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 thought the foundation was, I could say so many fortune cookie sayings that it would make your head spin because I've said them all. But, the fact of the matter is, I've said one that fits because I said it the last time I played this game, and the last time I played this game was, you can look around and think that all the dirt is up, but there are times when you think all the dirt is gone, but it's not. And you just gotta go over the same space again and get rid of the excess dirt. Because I was asked one time, not too long ago, how do you acknowledge your mental health? And I said, in a joking way, I said, with a wink and a nod. With a wink and a nod. And that's not, it is, it is a joke, but at the same time, it's not. Because I know it's still there. I know I'm not, 100%. And I know I'm not 100% in front of it. I know I'm not. Because, the fact of the matter is, it's just not possible to be 100% in front of it. And people can chalk it up to whatever they want. They can chalk it up to my, how I, my day to day. They can chalk it up to my job. They can chalk it up to what I do. They can chalk it up to anything they want. But when you think you're on solid ground, you just got to keep building on that. And, the mistake I made was, I didn't keep building on it. I looked for other people to help me build on it. I looked for other things to help me build on it. I looked for outside things to help me go forward. And I didn't try to go forward. I didn't try to keep the positivity. Because that is something I am extremely guilty of. Because somebody asked me a long time ago, not too long ago, about the books. Somebody asked me about the books not too long ago. And they said, hasn't it been a long time? Isn't that a long time to have a book in development? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The best thing I can say is I didn't want to invest the work. The best thing I can say is I didn't want to put in the effort. Because I didn't think it was worth it. I can blame it on other people. I can blame it on outside circumstances. I can blame it on other things. But I didn't want to put in the work because I didn't think it was worth it. And now I do. But now I'm impatient. And the worst thing you can do is be impatient. The worst thing you could do is be impatient. Because the worst thing you can do is rush. And I learned that from this game. No matter how annoyingly frustrating this game is, because you have to cover every inch of this skate park, and clean up every inch of this place to actually get the chance to move on to the next place and unlock whatever is next. For that, you have to move forward. For that, you have to build up. For that, you have to put in the work. And I've been yelled at, I've been lectured on it, I've been told, you need to put in the work, you need to put in the effort sometimes to get the goals. Sometimes it's worth it. I never do. I put in the bare minimum. I'm guilty of it. I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm guilty of putting in the bare minimum and not wanting to put in the effort. Why? Because 90% of the time I get into this motion, into this, groove of things, and things are going well, why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get into this, segue of things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I was in a good mood. I was motivated. I was good. I was doing well. And I'm like, it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not, don't build on it. Don't do this. Don't do that. It was, it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I've been shown that more than once, that just because you say it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It doesn't mean don't fix it. Because you're not fixing it, you're building on it. It's like when you're building a team in baseball, you don't get one player and say you're done, or, when you're building a team in sports, it's not one player and you're done. It's, you keep building and you keep building and you keep building. And one player builds on another player and another player and another player. Or it's the same with, any team-based game. It's, you build on, one person does this well, the other person does that well, the other person does this well. It's, you build on each other. Everything builds on everything. It's just sometimes you don't want to put in the work because you're not sure what the results are going to show. And if I don't see the results, how am I going to put in the effort? Why am I going to put in the effort? It doesn't make sense. And I don't know anybody would say that's the wrong way to look at it. And I know that it's the wrong way to look at it. But sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I want to take the easy way. Sometimes I want to keep just going with the flow. But sometimes I forget. I can't just go with the flow. I can't just let things go and build on it. I can't. Because it's just not my way. But I can't just, I can't also go the other way. I can't set a goal and stick to it and build on it and then find things that are, needed to be done before you get to this goal, like I did with the charity stream, where it's not like, you just do the charity stream. It's no, you gotta hype it up. You gotta plan it. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. You gotta do things. 90% of what you do is things you've never done before. And it's just stuff that you don't know until you start thinking about it. And 90% of the time, I don't like thinking about it because I don't like finding things that I've never done before, because it's stuff that I've never done before. I'd rather just stick with what's working rather than keep trying to change things. And I know you don't grow as a person if you keep doing the same thing. I know that. I know that better than most. And I'm guilty of, not wanting to. But it's hard. It's hard to change. It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to just keep building forward and keep building towards something that you don't know if you're the only one that's excited about. But also, if you're not excited about it, if you're not hyped up, if you're not looking forward to it, then why should anybody else be looking forward to it? Why should it be, if I'm not excited about, if I'm not spending days and months and hours and weeks thinking about the best way to promote the book, the best way to promote the documentary, then why should anybody else be hyped up about the documentary? Why should anybody else be hyped up about the book? Why should anybody else be hyped up about September 3rd if I'm not hyped up about September 3rd and taking days, hours, and weeks, spending time figuring out the best way to promote it and the best way to hype it up? You know the reason? The reason is because I am guilty of doing that. I am guilty of not investing the time. I am guilty of not taking the time to hype it up. I'm guilty of not showing that I'm excited about it. I'm guilty of that because I'm guilty of the lesson of this video. In the reflection ahead of September the 3rd, in reflecting, I realized I'm guilty of fixating too much on the day and not enough on the build. I'm guilty of that more than I should be. And that's why this is my way of trying to change that. This is my way of trying to build forward and trying to get the excitement up and trying to get the hype up and trying to get me to stop thinking about just the day and start thinking about the build and start thinking about the hype and start thinking about the excitement and start thinking about what you do between now and that day. What gets you to that day? What gets you to that goal? What gets you to that moment? What gets you there? Instead of just thinking about, I have to work to get there and I don't want to. Because that's why it's taken me 7 years to get a book published. Because I didn't want to ask for help. Because I didn't want to put in the work. Because I didn't want to put in the effort. Because I didn't want to get people excited, to show that this is something I believe in, to show that this is something I care about. But I'm done doing that. Slowly but surely, we build forward, we climb the ladder, and we start building that excitement. We push the ball down the hill, and we start rolling it down and creating that excitement, creating that interest, creating it. Because if I'm not going to, then nobody else will. I like to talk, what can I say?